out to Ruggs, who's got plenty of daylight. First play of the game. How many times have you seen this?
A bad decision is all it takes to ruin your life, another person's life, or even both. At this month, and for at least the next 10 years, Henry Ruggs will know just how factual and real that is. In light of the car crash tragedy, it's necessary to remember that if nothing else, Ruggs still has his life in front of him, and that cannot be said for the 23-year-old who died. Wide receiver Henry Ruggs is currently facing charges with years in sentence for driving his sports car at a speed higher than 150 kilometers an hour. He also had an alcohol blood level twice the legal limit in Nevada. All this resulted in a car crash that killed a 23-year-old woman and her dog. This tragedy has left many in the NFL in a pickle, and in today's video, we'll be discussing how NFL players react to Henry Ruggs' fatal car crash. However, before we go deep into the details on today's video, do not forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment Gifted Athlete to be entered in this month's $500 Amazon gift card giveaway. Good luck! Last week has been a total nightmare for Henry Ruggs, the entire team, and to some extent, the NFL itself. But most importantly, the people who've had to go through the worst is still the family of the victim, and our prayers are with them. However, back to the wide receiver. Ruggs was dropped by the Las Vegas Raiders immediately when they heard about the matter. After the crash, the player was hospitalized and had to make bookings into jail. A day after the incident, the receiver made his court appearance facing DUI charges and reckless driving resulting in death. The player had his attorneys, Richard Sconfield and David Chesnoff, with him on that day. Entering a plea was not necessary since Steve Wolfson, the county district attorney, hadn't filed a suit then. After tests, the receiver's blood alcohol level was a disturbing 0.16. That might not be a lot for a regular drinker, but that's 2 times the legal limit in Nevada. Henry appeared before the Las Vegas judge sporting a neck brace, seated in a wheelchair. The state was really not having any pity on him, and so they demanded a $1 million bond. However, Joe Bonaventure, the judge, set bail at $150,000, which he paid. Before leaving the court, the player was asked to surrender his passport. Also, reports confirm that Ruggs must not consume alcohol, or any hard substance for that matter, while on house arrest. He also could not get in front of a wheel at the moment, especially with the judge making a remark that he'd never seen someone drive at such speed in his entire life. Based on charges of reckless driving and a DUI offense that led to death, the receiver was facing about 20 plus years in jail if convicted. But with the recent discovery of a loaded gun in his car, he's now looking at more than 40 years in prison. There really is a lot of disturbing factors as to what was really going on with Ruggs that day. Why would you be drunk driving with your girlfriend and also be racing at such a high speed? The incident is really a lot to unpack, and the coaches and players are having a hard time processing the whole thing. It's really a lot. Various people have had various reactions to the whole issue. Even those who are close to Henry Ruggs are as perplexed as the club fans who had come to appreciate what he could do on the pitch. The Raiders team coach, Rich Bisaccia, now his former coach, by the way, had very little to say. He was like,
to be perfectly frank, I don't really know if I can put into words the emotional feelings that, certainly I went through, and certainly I can't speak for our players or our coaches or our owner, our organization. I just know for me as a parent and a person that cares about young people and deals with young people every day, I really don't know if I could quantify what the emotions are.
We also had superstar QB Derek Carr's comments, and he was as stunned as most are. Quoting the quarterback,
I don't know the right way to handle it. It broke my wife and I's heart, honestly. And he needs people to love him right now. He's probably feeling a certain type of way about himself right now, and he needs to be loved. And if no one else will do it, I'll do it. Whether it's fair or not, I have to compartmentalize, and I have a job to do.
In spite of the numbing effect of the whole incident, these words of solidarity from Carr would definitely be refreshing to the receiver. Nick Saban, his former coach at Alabama, also commented on the issue by declaring,
Yeah, well, our thoughts and prayers, certainly go out to all involved in this, tragic situation, especially the victims. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with them. But our thoughts and prayers are also with Henry, his family, because sometimes the consequences can be devastating. And these consequences are going to probably be pretty devastating to Henry. We love him. We're going to support him through it. But we also have a lot of compassion for the victims.
There's no denying that the consequences will be devastating, and it has already started. Anyways, his quarterback in Alabama State, Tua Tagovailoa, dropped his own comments too. The QB said,
"My heart goes out to the families that have been, affected by what had happened, the choices and decisions. My heart goes out to, Henry too and his family. Obviously, it wasn't, the right choice or decision that he made, at that time. I know he wished he could have had it back. But when I heard the news, I mean, that was tough for me to hear. Just knowing the kind of person that Henry is, you never think this guy could hurt a soul. So when you see something like that, I mean, I'm still kind of in disbelief."
At the end of it all, they all appear to be saying the same thing, and that is, they could not really believe what their favorite receiver had done. The whole thing spilled into the Raiders game on Sunday, and in spite of the team's denial of that being the case, anyone who's followed them this season knows it did. This is especially true for QB Derek Carr, who wasn't at his best when they lost. After the loss, Coach Bisaccia said that he knows there are plays that Carr would have loved to have back. The coach did not admit, though, that the QB was off in the game, and just labeled the whole thing as a bad day at the office. It's not far-fetched to share the opinion that things played out the way they did because of the incident, although one can make a valid argument that there were other factors. Throughout post-game interviews and all, the players were just not admitting that Ruggs' car crash really affected them. Still, in the Sunday game, it was clear that Carr was not his best. The team had undergone an emotional week which affected their preparation. As the matter stands now, Henry's career that's just starting to take off after being the #1 draft pick in his draft season